All right, to start off this video, we have to do just a little, just tiny, minor bit of mathematics. So Shane Van Gisbergen started his NASCAR career in the 91 car. That's one. Then he went and did a truck series start in the 41 truck. And then he decided to go full-time in the Xfinity Series, and he was in the 97. Okay. Do some part-time starts in the Cup Series. That's number 16, so that's another. Gets announced that he's going to run the number 88 next year. That's another. Let's add, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add a sixth number to Shane Van Gisbergen's NASCAR resume. It's been like a year and 3 months that he's been in NASCAR, and he has 6 numbers that he will have run. Well, you got to wait till February when he runs the 88, but point being, add another number to the list. Shane Van Gisbergen will be running the number 13 Kaulig Racing Chevy Sunday in the NASCAR Cup Series at the Roval. Kaulig Racing made the announcement. Another road course, another Kaulig entry, another trophy hunt. SVG will pilot the number 13 WeatherTech Chevy this weekend at the Roval. So yes, Kaulig traditionally, or they do, have 2 full-time cars, the 31 and the 16. This year, the 31 has been full-time by one driver, and that is Daniel Hemrick, so we'll leave that to the side. But the 16 car has had split duties. It's a full-time car. That car runs every single week. They are in the Owners' Championship. They have a charter, and that has been split between a bunch of Kaulig guys and the occasional, non-Kaulig guy. We have seen AJ Allmendinger in that car. I'm pretty sure that's who's in the car this week, who's in the 16. Also, he's a defending winner of the Roval. We've obviously seen Shane Van Gisbergen. We've seen Josh Williams, Ty Dillon. I think Derek Kraus made some starts. So the 16 car, while full-time, has had part-time drivers splitting that duty. They had a schedule. They've adjusted the schedule. And then it was announced in August, right before, like literally days before, it was announced that Shane Van Gisbergen would be promoted to Cup at Trackhouse. They also announced, or they announced right before that SVG would get more Cup Series starts to finish off the season. They announced that he would be adding to his schedule. At the time, you got to remember, this is August. We've already done some of these. Darlington was added to his schedule. Atlanta was added to his schedule. Martinsville in a few weeks was added to his schedule. But he had a couple of races that were already on his schedule. Talladega, and then upcoming in a couple of weeks, Las Vegas. So we already had a couple of starts here in the playoffs that we knew were going to happen. In August, they added about 5 more. And now we have another, and this is kind of a last-minute addition. It's not going to hinder anything. Kaulig's probably had this plan for a little bit. You're not going to build a car last minute, prep a car literally within a week, I don't think. So my guess is they've had this plan already, but they are now executing this plan. The 13 car is the 3rd car for Kaulig Racing. It's the number 13 car. We've seen it run 3 or 4 times this year. AJ Allmendinger just most recently ran it at Talladega, led a few laps in it. He also ran it at the Circuit of the Americas earlier in the year and the Chicago Street Race. Did he run it anywhere else? He might have, but those are just a couple off the top of my head that I can remember. 3rd part-time car. As I said, this car does not run full-time, but I'm curious to who's going to prep it. Because usually when SVG's in the 16 car, I think they do get some Trackhouse help, but Kaulig fields the car, so I'm curious. But another aspect to add to this developing news is that they are racing at a road course, the Charlotte Roval. Now, SVG has tested at this track before. He didn't do the full course, but when he was preparing for that Chicago Street Race, rookies are usually allowed to do a limited test, and they are allowed to learn what the car does, figure out what it's going to be like, and just, get used to it. And also just, capability reasons. But anyways, he has kind of run this track. He didn't run the full circuit. I don't think they let him run up on the banking, but he has a minor bit of experience. But there is a big change to this track. They got rid of one area of the track and they added they moved a couple of turns somewhere else. And so because of that, there's going to be an extended practice. Usually it's about 15 to 20 minutes for each group. But this week, it's going to be a 45 to 50-minute session for everyone. Everyone can go out at once. So it's going to be a full NASCAR practice session for Shane Van Gisbergen at a road course. So very, very curious to see how that works out for him, to see how they can adapt, because Shane Van Gisbergen, we all know how good of a road course racer he was. Obviously, the heartbreak that happened at Watkins Glen when he blew the chicane on the backstretch, looking for a little bit of redemption, I'm sure. But Shane Van Gisbergen has added another NASCAR Cup Series start to his 2024 schedule prior to going full-time in 2025. WeatherTech will be the car. I'd probably show you the paint scheme at some time, but if you haven't seen it, here it is again. Typical WeatherTech colors. We saw it on the 16. We've seen it on the 97. We'll see it on the 88 next year. Man, 4 different WeatherTech paint schemes, because it's 4 different numbers, but it's the same paint scheme. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Any other news that happens, I will let you know the Monday after. It's tonight. As always, we do our Monday night live stream on Monday night here in the US of A. And I'm sure this will be a topic. We'll look at the entry list tonight. We'll make our Monday picks. Show up, make your Monday picks. It's always one of my favorite times of the week. So thanks for watching this video again. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys tonight.